Tonight, we announced the breakdown of all 8 regions for the 2021 season. The Redraft League is now full while the other leagues continue to grow. And by the end of this weekend, the draft dates and time will be announced. All of this and more in 20 seconds. Hey, fellow fanatics, welcome to the Fanatic Hero broadcast sponsored by Football Darts and Fantasy Sports Alliance. I'll get you in here, man, right now because I need you. What's up, brother? How are you?
Not much. It has been a lonely couple of weeks here without you. I know the fan must be happy to have you back, and looking good matching Monarchs top to bottom over there.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out what I was going to wear tonight, and I was like, what haven't I worn for a while? What could match my mood tonight? My black heart right now. And we'll go ahead and go with all black stuff. How have you been? How was your and Josh's show last night?
It was very good, filled with comedy for a change. You know, a little less drony than normal, or at least how I
Yeah.
feel I sound anyway. Picked apart his team and Brett's team. Both those guys can kick rocks, so.
was Brett on last night with you too?
Brett was online. Brett is the Philadelphia Bell out of Foxtrot, so
Yeah.
He was checking in for a little bit.
Good deal. Maria on with us tonight. She says, hey guys, hi Maria, how are you? Hey, before we get too deep into it, let's talk about Football Darts. They are our broadcast sponsor, and they are a dart game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed multiple target dartboard. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgate events, as league tournaments, or as a leisure activity in the comfort of your home. If you would like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com. Enter the code that you see across the bottom of the screen right now, which is IPLAYFSA, and you will get 30% off your order. Included with the board is 4 darts, pins for positions, a rule book, everything you need to play right out the box. And they are a sponsor for us this year as well. Somebody will be winning a custom dartboard of their brand at season's end. If you haven't got a chance to check this out, make sure you go out and check out their website. I've got one hanging in my garage right now. I know my uncle currently has an Ohio State one that was sent to him from my wife, and yeah, good times there on that thing. Chris on with us. I'm not sure what that is. That a peace sign?
I believe that's a peace sign.
He could be flipping us off. We wouldn't know. And then Eric on with us too. Eric, how are you? Speaking of Eric, so while the Fanatically Real broadcast has been struggling to stay live past 11 seconds on any given Wednesday lately, the Empty Wagon guys are still killing the game. If you're not listening to the Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast, you are doing fantasy football wrong. You can find them on all the social media outlets at Empty Wagon FF. Each of them have their own Twitter handles, which I think Kevin is going to have coming across the bottom of the screen in just a second. And if all else fails, go to fsa-fr.com. All their podcasts are now under the FSA umbrella on Anchor. And if you had been a previous subscriber to their podcast, make sure you go follow them under Fantasy Sports Alliance. What are the numbers looking like for the podcast lately? I know you've been hitting us up with them, and they've been pretty good, but what do they look like? Let you take a peek at that.
We have a total of 1,045 total downloads on all of our podcasts. So we do appreciate you guys. If you can't check us out live, you know where to go listen to us. But if you don't, it is at Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spreaker, Amazon, and anywhere else you might find podcasts for your listening pleasures. All you have to do is click subscribe, and every week when we come on, and then follow it up with the upload of the podcast, it will automatically download for you. No thinking to it. It will just be there in the morning for you. So go check that out.
You know what I love? This is how I know the Empty Wagon guys have made it in life, right? So I have one of those Alexa screens down in my kitchen, and it's got a 3.5 millimeter audio jack from it to this outlet that we have in the wall that runs 2 speakers that are in my kitchen ceiling. And I said, hey, Alexa, play Empty Wagon Fantasy Football Podcast. And his stuff pops right up. That's how you know you've made it in life, when Alexa can find your podcast. So that's always a cool thing. Now,
Yeah, I
go ahead.
almost talking about the same type of thing. I almost took a screenshot this morning and sent it to you, but I know it happens time and time again. Every time we upload a podcast, maybe 2 days after it's been released, I always get a notification from Apple Podcasts. Hey, there's something out there for you to listen to. A new episode from Fantasy Sports Lines. I was like, that's cool.
That's pretty cool. Eric says, we've made it, boys. Yeah, you guys definitely have. You have definitely helped grow this FSA thing, man, and we appreciate you immensely. So your guys' show went well last night. You guys broke down Foxtrot Draft, and the week previous you guys did Echo.
Yes, that is correct. By the way, Eric, Mr. 12, what happened there, bud? By design, I assume.
Was that what they ranked him, was 12th?
Oh yeah, that was no joke. That was if you go out to the draft and you go to recap, then you can hit and see where according to MFL, their analysts, but I believe it's just based ADP and it generates a list, has Eric listed as 12. So
Wow.
Surprised yet not surprised. If you look at Eric's team, I know we talked about it last night, so won't dive too much into it right now, but it's more age than anything. So taking a little bit of younger team and not your big boom players like Josh Allen in my case in all of my leagues, that's going to happen. So.
Well, I mean, it is dynasty. I mean, he's definitely got a plan. He's building for the future. Let him have the young guys right now, and then MFL can eat it in a year or two whenever he's winning that back-to-back and winning that money twice in a row, too.
Eric says, I care not at all. I have 3 dynasty teams, and this is the only one I have my guys that I want to watch in.
That's cool.
Well, see, yeah, there's your plan. So
yep, that's what matters. Sometimes Sundays you don't care about your fantasy team. Sometimes you just want to watch your guys. Damien with us tonight. Damien, it has been very, very quiet on all channels without you. The FSA family has been concerned and wondering where you're at. It's good to see you on, brother. The Allen talk is almost as bad as when he talks about Brady during this season. He does talk about Allen quite a bit, doesn't he? He's been stuck on it for a while. I'm pretty sure even I've seen some Twitter tweets from you talking about Allen.
Yeah. Hey, when you got a guy, you got to ride that train. Quarterback number 1 this year.
And when you guys did Echo, was that the night that I was at the circus?
I mean, I thought that you were routinely at the circus, but quite possibly.
I'll tell you what, that circus that night wasn't so bad, except for they waited until after their version of halftime. And I think they shortened the show because it was getting so late in the night and stuff like that. So second half was super short. But during that second half, they brought the elephants out. And one of the elephants decided as soon as it was going to step in the ring, it was going to take a great big old boo-boo right there in front of everybody. And
Yeah.
I tell you what, it was the stinkiest thing ever, man. Oh, we were running out of that place whenever the circus was done. But yeah, if that was the night that you guys did Echo, I want to go back and watch that because I know I caught you guys for a little bit, and I want to go see. I want to watch the last 2 episodes of you guys for sure. So what are you guys going to be live again next Tuesday then? Or what's on the schedule for you next Tuesday?
Possibly live next Tuesday. I have to talk to my partner in crime, my average brother, see what we have on deck. I do, however, have a little trick up my sleeve for fans. There's a buddy of mine. I should not necessarily say buddy. I use that loosely, but somebody I follow on Twitter, who's another content creator, is thinking about doing a collab with us. This is news to you. I have not mentioned that. So we may have a guest host on the Average Brothers one night in the coming weeks. So
let me know what night it is. I'll come on and I'll be your stat guy for you. Too easy. Hey, so we mentioned at the top of the show the membership. I guess it had been a while since we've done a Fanatic and Real broadcast. So when I went back, we hadn't quite reached the 96 team mark yet for the redraft, but the additional 4 teams that we picked up since the last time we went live put us at 96. So the Redraft League is full. It's been full for a little bit now, 60 days before kickoff, which is a pretty good thing to have happen. We picked up one more for the DoD League, putting us at 18. Reality has kicked in, and I think what we're going to try to strive for in the DoD League now is 24, so we need another 6 in that league. Hoping that Eric is still out there right now, and I can plead to him and Josh and Brad to come on board and give me 3 more Air Force guys to play in this league and get us 3 away from reaching the 24 that we need. And then the QB 54 Arm and Leg League. Pretty far short of the 54 that we would like to have. It's like we like to keep that 54 theme going along with that entire league. So we're sitting at 20 right now. So if you're watching this right now and you're not a former or current member of the military and you would like to get into a fun, unique league and it won't cost you an arm and a leg, $20 is all it'll cost you. Jump on into the QB 54 Arm and Leg. Great cash and prizes in that league and a lot of fun. So come out and do that. Let's see. What do we got? MJ's on with us. MJ, how are you? Good evening. She says she's at the beach right now. Forget where you said you were going. You're going to one of the islands off the coast of Georgia, right? What else we got? We are. Maria says she's ready for draft day. Eric says he's in too many leagues. I think your brother was wanting to know why he wasn't filled in as well on the special person coming on board.
Well, I mean, it's on a need-to-know purpose, so.
Let's see. What else do we have on the schedule for the night? We got membership. We talked about, well, we kind of mentioned that the redraft was full, right? So it's taken us a little bit of time. Oh, she's at St. Simon Island or St. Simon, however they pronounce it, in Jekyll. Jekyll being my favorite island off the coast of Georgia. A lot of fun there. Love that place. Have gone across the bridge over to St. Simon. A little bit faster pace there, but way more buildings, more commercialized over there, which is okay. But going all the way up to Tybee Island, a little bit too fast for my pace, but I do like some Jekyll Island. We were talking about going there at the end of the month, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do that because of work now. Let's see. Sean says he's ready for some dice roll. Okay, so Sean, we will get to that in just a second as we get ready to talk about draft times and dates for when we're going to do the draft selection shows and the actual drafts for each one of the regions. But before we get there, let's go ahead and go with the breakdown of each one of the regions. Got the shared screen there. Kevin, thank you for bringing that up.
We just have to remember as we're going through this, do not click on that left-hand bar, please and thank you.
Well, the good thing this year is I was smart and I didn't do anything with addresses this year. So I learned my lesson from last year. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. So the only thing that you're going to see there is team name, team logo, and the GM's name, and that's it. And for the general managers that don't have teams or logos yet, I just used initials. So people wouldn't know this year. So I did get a little bit smarter this year. So what you're seeing is an overall image overhead view of the world of FSA right now as it pertains to the redraft. And this is where all of our teams are at across the world. Yes, we have teams in Alaska, Australia, Europe, Germany, Greece, UK, everything. And then, of course, the majority of our members are in North America, with a couple of them actually in Canada. So I want to kind of go through the thought process of why teams are where they are. So we always start off with the New England Phoenix region, or the Phoenix region, because it was, when I created these regions many years ago, it was the number one region that I had created. So when we zoom in a little bit, and I'll bring it over here to the left-hand side or the right-hand side of the screen and zoom in, what we got there is the Maniacs there in Greece, and we've got the 1863 Ramblers up in the UK. Why do you see the different color above the Lunatics there in Germany? Well, the Lunatics will not be playing with the Phoenix this year, and we'll talk about that in a little bit in a second. Well, let's zoom into the rest of the teams that are over here in the actual New England region of the United States. Over here, we end up having the Sound of Madness, the Werebears, Groot, Superfan, Chef Boyar Louie, the Purple Penguins, team still to be named, Average Joes, the Chris Betts. And then we have this one team way out here in the West that I'm going to scroll over to. And this is the Phoenix Rage. Why are they included in that? Well, that's Randy McCarty, and he was actually in the Phoenix region last year, and had up until last year, and had brought a lot of these members that are up here in the New England region and wants to continue playing with those people. And he is now living out in Arizona. And so we wanted to keep that rivalry going there with all of that. So in that same respect, why are the Lunatics not there? Well, we wanted to make sure the Lunatics in Germany got to play with his dad. His dad is based out of California. So that is the Sasquatch region for us this year. And we'll explain a little bit more about that when we get over to the West Coast. So the number 2, the Black Bears region. Kevin, that's where you're from. So why don't you explain a little bit about how this Black Bears region is laid out?
Well, the Black Bear or the Appalachian region normally is everything pretty much south of Virginia and south in between that Mid-Atlantic region. But because we don't have a Mid-Atlantic, I humbly slide in and I get to take on my rivals with Damien and now Brett as well. And the other half of the Average Bros actually calls this region home in West Virginia. So Josh will be playing against me this year. He moves into the region. Last year he was in the Great Lakes, so should be probably, I don't know, number 101 as far as region goes. I'm just, thinking off the top of my head.
Well, we do pick up a few outliers in this one, where we pick up a team to be named here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. That is a friend of Coach Bill, the general manager of the Mermen. So he will be sliding over there. And then, of course, we've had the Nihilist, who are based out of California, that has played in this region for the last couple of years as well.
Division winners last year, right?
Division winners last year. And we wanted to make sure that we kept those rivalry going. So that is the makeup of the Black Bears region for the year. So let's move to the third region, which is the Hydras. Also the oldest region in FSA history. This is where FSA originated, in this Ohio area right here. So what are we looking at as far as teams for this year? Only one brand new team to this region, and that's the Wahooligans. Everybody else played in FSA last year, maybe not particularly in this region. The only one that moved over to was the Angry Vipers, added and joined the Great Lakes region. So some great long rivalries here. Mellon Hawks with us last year. Ohio Racers, a very long member of FSA, but just coming back to us last year for the first time in nearly, I think, 2 decades. Garbage Points rejoining. The Ohio River Monsters finished second last year in all of the FSA. Dayton Cavalry, the second oldest member of FSA. Killers and the Creek Dogs being the number 3 and number 4. Cavalry, Killers, and Creek Dogs, all Hall of Fame members. TDs and Beer, Turd Ferguson, and of course Music City Miracles.
Funny name.
It's a funny name, right? All 3 of those guys good friends with each other and playing in multiple other leagues against each other. So we had to keep those guys going as well. So here's where we get a little bit interesting, all right? This is where the shenanigans started taking place whenever we get into this Dragons region, which is down here in this, basically SEC country, if you're looking at it from a college standpoint. What did we do here? So when you looked at the breakdown of who was in this region, new teams versus old teams, basically you want to look at this. We had 13 old teams and 11 new teams. So I thought, that's a great way to break this up and divide this. And what happens is that one team has to move out of what we consider the veterans of the Dragons region. And that ended up being the why am I drawing a blank on the team name right now? I can't think of it right now. The Greenbacks. I'm looking at the hat right there, and the name still is escaping me, the Greenbacks. Why did we move the Greenbacks over there? So Greenbacks and their general manager brought in a new player for us this year, the Power Claws, and they wanted to make sure that they played against each other. So we moved the Greenbacks over to the Power Claws. And in the same respect, we ended up moving for a while the Unicorn Legends, which is actually my wife's team, over into that spot. And it wasn't because, I didn't want to lose to her again this year because.
No, it definitely was. You can't tell me otherwise.
Well, in her defense, she didn't want to draft behind the Kalunga clan again this year, which she has done 2 years in a row. And both times that she's done it, she's complained about how slow of a drafter he is. So she wanted to get moved out of that region just so she wouldn't have to do it again. And we sat that way for a while. The one other change was we brought the Waverly Wildcats, which is a rookie for us, into what we're considering the Gold Dragons this year. Why? Because the Waverly Wildcats is a soldier and a friend of mine and the Lumieres, and we wanted to make sure that we got to play against him this year. So he got moved over there. So let's go down here a little bit further to what we're considering the Red Dragons region this year. And when I first built this, I did not have the Scary Chefs, which is the team that's right here near Huntsville, Alabama. In this area, I had him in the central region, and then got reminded by Mario, the general manager of the Rubber Ducks, hey, that's a guy that I brought in and I would like to play against him this year. So we had to do a little bit of moving, and when we did that moving and we brought the Scary Chefs into that spot, then we had to bring the wife back over into the Gold Dragons. And we made one additional move, which escapes me right now looking at this, and I couldn't tell you what it was. Either way, it ended up balancing everything out. We ended up with 12 and 12, Gold Dragons, Red Dragons. But like we said, going into next year, this will be the last time that we use a dual naming from a region and just changing the color. So what we would probably see happen next year is that second region would probably become the Serpents or something like that.
I do want to make a disclaimer as you say that, though. We will be losing the regional connotation. So there will be no South Atlantic Dragons. There will be no Appalachian Black Bears. It will just be Black Bears and Dragons.
Yeah.
And we will still do what you're seeing now and try to break you into where you play regionally. The purpose behind that is future thinking in FSA, doing live drafts as a possibility. The closer that you physically live, the more likely you are to attend a live draft. But as you think of it now, you could be, say, in the quote-unquote Black Bear region, but have a different name like the Nine Tails, just because of that's the logo that we end up using, or however we break it down. So no worries there.
With that, yeah, with that, what we're trying to do is get into some of those unused regions that we haven't had. Like, I don't think we've ever used the Minotaurs. If we've used the Bighorns, it was because we had a couple people that were there and we just decided to name it that for the region or whatever. So yeah, that'll give us the opportunity to be able to use all of these 16 region names that we've got, the logos that we've created for it and stuff like that. And we won't have any duplicates anymore. However, I will say this, and I know we're going to show your screen here in a few with the Red Dragons. For simplistic reasons, I decided, hey, we're just going to color the Red Dragons red, right? And we're going to do something different. We'll show the regional logos here in a second, how the regional banners look a little bit different this year than they did on the website last year. I think I'm going to go out and grab a different Red Dragon. I mean, let's just go ahead and brand the Red Dragon a little bit different this year, since it's going to be the last year we use it. So probably upcoming this weekend, you guys are going to see that banner changed a little bit. And it'll make an announcement on Discord if I do it. Flights and accommodation paid for the live drafts. I'll tell you what, Chris, didn't you say us a couple times that you've gone over? I think he's gone over and done live drafts in Seattle before, right?
I mean, if you mean that the flights are accommodated and paid for by you, then yes, I'm all for that, Chris.
Well, I will say this: if Chris, we'll put this in the gospel right now. If I remember right, memory serves me right, you have said that you have gone over to Seattle to draft live shows before. If that is in fact the case, and you have done that, we get something together up in the Pac North, which is a really big growing region for us right now, thanks to Toby. And you can find your way over into Seattle to do a draft one year. Instead of us putting you in the New England region or in the Phoenix region, we'll put you in the Sasquatch region. I will personally come up there and I will make sure I attend that draft so I get to meet you in person. That's gospel. I put it out there for the world.
Yeah, so Chris is a Seahawks fan. He happens to pick the team that plays the furthest from him to be a fan of.
And you know what? Anywhere in the world, he's probably 50-50. Never been to the U.S. Who am I thinking that goes and drafts in Seattle then? Oh, you know what? That was Brett that would do that coming out of Australia. That's who I was thinking of. He has actually gone up to Seattle and drafted a couple of his teams. I wonder if he's on right now listening to this or not. So, but
It's mid-morning for him.
yeah, so let's do this. We'll put it out into the world. Chris, if you ever find your way to Seattle, we'll add you over into the Sasquatch region, and then I will definitely come. However you want to do it, man. However you get to the U.S., we'll make sure that you put you in that for that region for that year, and I come to whatever live drafts you're at, man. All right, so looking at the Central region, which is the next one we're going to talk about, which is the Nightmares region, I realized what was the other team that we shifted out between the Gold and the Red Dragons to make sure that we had room for it, and that was the Inferno. And the reason I ended up doing that, even though they are down here deep, close to Miami, was because there was 3 other teams that he played against and with last year, and I think we called it the Gulf Coast region last year, and I wanted to make sure that. Yeah, and I wanted to make sure he played against them again this year, which was the Nature Coast Colonials and then the Hookers and the Rum Runners. So we ended up moving David over into the Central region this year. So what we've got is we've zoomed in a little bit. We're probably going to lose some detail here. Is the Inferno that's right here in Miami, the Nature Coast Colonials, these 2 teams right up here in Destin, which is the Hookers and the Rum Runners. And then this group of teams that are right here that have a little bit of the Great Lakes region and a lot of what we consider the Central region already as it is. And in those teams, we've got the Inferno, Nature Coast. We've got one that still needs to be named, the Push and Rock, Rum Runners, and Hookers we just mentioned. Another team to be named, the Woodshed, Norsemen, Redcocks, the NCFF All-Americans, and the Wildcats. So that makes up the Nightmares region. Let's skip past the Sasquatch because it's going to be the last one that we talk about. And let's talk about the Scorpions region and how this one came about. So NWO, which is the Outsiders, Boss Hogs, AS, which we're still working on that logo for him, should be coming out shortly. All new teams, along with this BB team. That's Bo Boatwright. We got to make sure that we get his logo done as well. They are joining a group of people that have played with the FSA for a while, which are the Labradors. Brady sits down to number 1, the Vols, Recast, Lady Recast, Gadget guys. Now, here's what we get into with the Empty Wagon guys, and I don't know if Eric's still out there or not. What I wanted to do was make sure the Empty Wagon guys all played against each other this year. So what we got is we've got the Gadget guys right here, slide up a little bit, and we pick up the Mojave Thundercats. And then we pick up Brad, who's all the way up here in Alaska, which is why he's got that little red logo around him too, to be able to get them all together. So the Empty Wagon guys have some trash to talk about on the show this year when it comes to the Redraft League. One of the teams that you see logo that's here that is actually not playing in this region is going to end up being... And where do we move them to? The Sasquatch region ends up being the Calloused Cowboys. Why is Calloused Cowboys here not near Austin, Texas, playing the Sasquatch region? Well, this is the brother of the Vols general manager, and they don't want to play against each other. They would rather try to see if they can't meet each other in a playoff in once in divisions, win each one of their regions and stuff like that. So the Calloused Cowboys will be playing in the Sasquatch region this year. And because we are there, and it should be our 8th and final region to talk about, let's talk about that. So we already mentioned right at the very beginning that the Lunatics are going to be playing against his dad this year in what we're calling the Sasquatch region, which includes this blue area right here. So the Lunatics playing in the same region as the West Coast Avengers. We just mentioned the Calloused Cowboys. We've got our 2 teams that are up here in Canada, Crazy Train and the Alberta Goats, which we just recently changed the logo of, but you don't see the new one here on the map yet. Toby, who did all of this recruiting for us, which is the White Ponies. I've made contact with Scott and Paul here today. We should be working on their logos very, very shortly. Chubbs, which was a fun logo to work on this year. Up there, we've got Caesar. We still got to get his logo done for him. I think we've got the one for Mario completed now. We just haven't put it up here, or Marvin, I'm sorry. And we just don't have it up here yet. And then the Koalas, which is Brett, all the way over in Australia. Let's back it out so everybody can see Australia. Time-wise, it just seems to make sense for him to be in this region. Who do I get to chalk trash to? Empty Wagon Josh? I'm going to PCS in 18 months, so I messed this all up. Oh, no. You have to talk to me offline if you've got a PCS coming up in 18 months. If you know where you're going already, let me know. But I have a funny feeling it's probably too far out for you to know already. But didn't Josh just get down to you? Did
I
he make?
believe so.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did he make it down there? I don't know if he made it down there or not. Kevin, pinning any questions? What do you want to ask about the regional breakdown?
I need to know what the over-under is on me beating both Josh and Damien this year because I did not have that luxury last year. I
Yeah,
only got to play one of them.
you only get to play Damien. How did that turn out for you? What was the final record between the two of you?
Last year it was 1-1, 1-0. I mean, I beat him, and he cried wolf, and he thought he was better than me. Didn't prove to be so.
Well, so I know we're talking about redraft right now, but what does your record look like against that other New York, New Jersey team this upcoming year in the Delta Dynasty?
That is split at 1-1. Moving forward, I hope you have your secondary team lined up there, bud.
Well, if it's 1-1, I don't have to worry about my secondary team.
Well, that's the past. I mean, they always got to improve.
Oh, you talking about how we finished last year? Yeah, we did finish 1-1. I was talking about what do you think about 2021? How's that going to look?
3-0.
How does that happen?
I'm gonna beat you twice in the regular season, and I'm gonna make it to where we play each other in the postseason, and then I have the luxury of beating you again.
I think I'd have to change my team name twice before the season starts. And I better come up with 2 different logos and things are going. And I wanted to bring this one all the way back up and tell Eric, thank you for saying congratulations on getting a first sergeant again in 2 more years. You know, it's funny. Had I not taken this new position, I would be dropping my retirement paperwork in 17 days from today. And instead, I decided to stick around for 2 more years. And we can say sucker because it's true. All right, why don't you pull your screen up there, Kevin, and we'll show everybody what this looks like with the new regional logos.
Yes, if that map was a little bit too confusing and you didn't really follow along with the first half hour of the show and everything that Brian goes through, and I say that because that's his favorite part, what he loves to do. That's what made us pretty much stretch into this format and use the regional idea and use the locations is, although daunting, is his favorite part. So my favorite part is looking at all these pretty logos that we've got going on here. A little bit of a better breakdown for you, much easier to read. This is the main screen. When you log into MFL, this is what you will see, and this is how you will go about reading through your division and looking at where your standings are at. Is this right here. Starting off with the Phoenix region. One thing to note out as we read down this, there's 2 things really. Is first off, you're going to see a difference in the names. Any name that is pointed out in green, those are rookies for us in FSA. Those are first-year members. If it is black or blue, I can't tell. I need more glasses.
It's a blue color. It's FSA
I need
blue.
Another set of glasses on top of these to see that at this point. But if you are in blue, that means you've played for us for a couple of years, and I'll show you where you can see how long and look at the history of a team in a minute if we've got time. But that's going to be important because at the end of the year, we do give out awards. You have General Manager of the Year and Rookie General Manager of the Year. So if you want to know who is a rookie to do your voting, that is the easiest way to point it out if you don't know everybody off the top of your head, because I believe the number is something like 28 rookies or close to that.
I think we're pretty close to that. I'd have to actually go through these the green team names here and count myself. Yeah. And since we're sitting here on the Phoenix, and you just mentioned the Rookie General Manager of the Year, we'll actually pause here for a second for 2 things that you see on the screen. The regional banner is a little bit different this year, as you see the full-sized Phoenix now without seeing the patch that was normally there with the regional moniker where it would say New England on it. Now we're just going to be the Phoenix moving forward. And Kevin already mentioned that the rookies for the year will have the green team name on there. When we're looking at the Chris Betts, the third team down there on the thing, and what you're seeing there is a group of accomplishment awards or accomplishment ribbons underneath his team logo. That is 3 of the accomplishments he's made as a rookie last year, showing the far right one that he was the New England Phoenix regional champion, the one in the middle saying that he was the rookie general manager of the year, and then the far left one meaning that he was the world champion for 2020. And that's what those show. Now, as we get closer to kickoff in September, I will be taking my time to flush those out for every single one of the teams who have had ribbons on them. As Kevin slides through this, we'll mention a couple other ones that are out there for people. So if you're listening to this right now and you've not really noticed, or maybe you noticed it and you didn't know what those were, those are your accomplishment ribbons, and I'll get Kevin to show you how to get to that so you can see those over the past couple of years once we get through all of this regional breakdown this way.
As we move throughout this here, we get down to the Black Bear region, which is where I call home. Well, where I play in anyway, I should say, not home. We have Brett, Kick Rocks, Damien, Kick Rocks. And if you watched the show last night, you would know that Josh prefers to walk across the field of Legos, so please do so, bud.
Wow. So we do have one team's logo that we need to complete in this region. As you can see, there is one team there that does not have a logo yet. So we got to get with Tanner. This is Coach Bill's friend, to make sure that we get a logo done for them. I think I've got a total of 11, 12, 13 logos that I still have to do, 3 that are in progress. So past this weekend, we might get a little bit more done. So breaking over to the Hydras, we mentioned this was the oldest region that we have in FSA. A couple things that you'll see here, especially on the Killers and the Creek Dogs. You'll see the World Championship ribbons there on both of those teams. The Killers with both gold and silver stars on them, meaning that they have been a world champion and a world runner-up. I think on the Creek Dogs, not being able to see it real big. I'm pretty sure Greg's been a 2-time world champion with us. It's probably 2 gold stars there. Yeah. And the 2 purple ribbons that you see to the left of those World Championship ribbons mean that both of those guys are also Hall of Fame members as well.
Then we move on down to the Gold Dragons.
So happy to be back in the Gold Dragons again this year. I think this is my 3rd year as the Monarchs now. 2019, 2020, 2021 will be the my 3rd year as the Monarchs. Welcoming back, we've got Maria from Wonder Chick. We got Pedro Kalunga from Kalunga Clan. And it's funny, Misty's right underneath him, as she doesn't want to be next to him at all when she's drafting this year because of their history with each other. Waverly Wildcats, new team for us there. The Land Sharks, Ted Howard, former company commander of mine. Southern Sirens, MJ's back with us. Heather, the Georgia She Devils back with us. Beast Mode back. Lumiere, E-Thugs, and then Sean. Sean, hopefully you're out there watching with us tonight still. Sean with a bunch of ribbons underneath him. That far right one means that he actually won what year? What did we call it that year? So first off, the one on the far right is because he won the region that year. He also won General Manager of the Year. I think it was a co-General Manager of the Year. Was this past year with Eric that he won that? Okay. And then he won the All-Team Bowl one year as well, which is the middle ribbon there. It would have been, with that color, would have been the Deep South Creations All-Team Bowl whenever he won that.
That was last year.
He beat the Lunatics, I think, last year. Yeah, okay.
And this is outside of the Mrs. FSA in Misty. This is your rival here. How do you feel about this year?
With Sean?
Yes.
Pretty sure the year before I knocked him out of the playoffs. I wouldn't say I was happy about that. It was pretty sad to see him not go to the playoffs. He had such a successful year. And for my team to suck as bad as it did that year and be the one that actually knocks him out of the playoffs. Pretty sure he beat me pretty handedly last year, though. We were unable to see each other last year, as the year prior to that. Year prior we were able to hang out with each other. This past year's COVID year, we weren't able to get to hang out. But we are now past COVID. It is my turn to go make that trip to go over and see Sean. I'm looking forward to playing with him again this year. I would have gladly moved myself out of the region to not have to play him again for a third year in a row, just to make sure that I wouldn't lose to him again. But here we are again.
Kick rocks.
Kick rock, Sean.
See, there you go. I'll get you guys to be a good rival. Don't worry.
So Red Dragons, like I said, I'm thinking about putting a different logo on here. Yeah, you did win the region last year. Yeah, and then you ended up going on to he went to the All-Team Bowl, so he played for a third, fourth, and won that, and ended up getting third overall in all of the 72 teams that we had last year. So we can say we're thinking about changing this logo out on the Dragons. Greenbacks, team that is a veteran in the South Atlantic region, that we moved over with the rookies to make sure that he could play with his buddy, the Power Claws. You see a lot of green here. Reason being is this is the rookies generally that are sitting over in the South Atlantic region right now. I think, everybody but him should be a rookie in this one. So a lot of great logos in this one too. Yeah, he should be the only one that's a veteran in this one. A lot of great logos in that region, though. I like it. We got to get a hold of De Jesus and make sure we get his logo created for him as well. Bo Boatwright, also needing a logo for him. One of our
rookies.
This is
offensive, by the way.
Why? Brady sits down at number one? So let me tell you why it's not offensive. So this guy's a huge Ravens fan. Not only does he keep the team name, but he still has a Raven for a logo, which I love. So it gets everything that embodies this man. And he was a guy, he was 2 or 3 years in a row. He went to the All-Team Bowl for that third, fourth place, just barely missing. I mean, that's consistency right there, to be able to go to that. So he could be Brady sits down to number one all he wants.
I believe he's actually a Brady fan, correct?
No, because God, no. He hates Brady. Does not like him. Does not. Yeah.
Just need a clarification.
Just does not. I'm sure if he was on right now, he would let you know too. So like we said, we got all of the empty wagon guys in here in this region as well. We got Factory S7 as the Gadget guys, the Mojave Thundercats. I'm sure we're going to scroll down a little bit. We'll see them. AJ Sears, still need to get a logo for him. Got a couple other rookies that are in here, the Outsiders and Boss Hogs, which I think that's a great logo. We got the Recast, Lady Recast. We'll talk about them at the end of the show as well. In here again for another year, also playing in Dynasty with us. The Central Nightmare is one of my favorite logos. A lot of great competition in this one. We've got the Run Runners and the Hookers. Run Runners, last year's inductee into the Hall of Fame. Got to make sure that we get his ribbon on there for him. Ross Norris, great mind in the fantasy world, playing as the NCFF All-Americans. We did move the Inferno that are down there in Miami over into the Central region, so he could play against those people that he played against last year, which is the Hookers, the Run Runners, Nature Coast Colonials that you see there. A couple rookies here in the Norsemen, the Push and Rock.
So cheap plug here as we pass by their logo, the Nature Coast Colonials. If you don't know who they are or what they do, they were last year's World Championship Bowl game sponsor. They have a bunch of outdoors and tailgating type games. Last year, the World Champions won a set of cornhole boards and bags, I believe, as well. I personally had purchased a set because I am a definite fan of the sport. I actually have 3 tournament championships under my belt. Go nice. Me. But everybody I had played with, including myself, had raved about the quality of the boards and bags. Top-notch, pro-level type stuff. So please go check them out.
I have a set sitting in my garage right now that I was going to take over for 4th of July. And I'm glad that I did not, because I would embarrass myself by having my own custom boards. As bad as I threw on the boards that were already there at the 4th of July party, it would have made me look really, really bad. So, but they are great boards.
I will tell you that it does play a difference. The board and the type of bag does play a huge difference in how you play and the consistency. So, want to be consistent, get Nature Coast boards.
Definitely get those. They're great. And if you get a full-size boards, I believe Brandon is still doing the direct print to the board. When I say this, people are like, what does that mean? Like he's basically putting the board under a great big ginormous printer, and it's printing the ink or the paint directly onto the board for you. So the customization that he can do in these boards is amazing. So Chris Betts, which was our world champion last year, had amazing boards done for him. The FSA boards that I have downstairs in my garage are great. The ones that I designed for your stepdad are awesome. So that and the bags, just awesome quality work. And I got to see his shop when I went down there as well, when Cheryl and I made a visit down there. Great shop, great dude. Looking forward to getting another set of boards for the world champion for this year. Close to having Austin Miller's logo done there in that region. So we'll have that one done shortly. Like I said, Scott and Paul reached out to us today on Discord. So we should be working on those logos soon. Kind of have an idea of what we want to do for Paul, a little bit maybe for Scott too. Hopefully by this weekend we'll get both of those knocked out.
I do have to say, probably my second favorite regional logo, Sasquatch.
It's good. Like, I don't get tired of looking at that one. Toby's up there in that one, done a lot of recruiting for us. He was the one that brought on a crazy train for us, and Scott and Paul and a couple other people that we're going to see on here. I do love that logo.
Since we do lose the regional connotation next year of being where you physically play, I do have to have a conversation with Toby as a rival by association, see what it would take to get him to play with me, Brett, Chris, and Josh.
No, I don't think it's going to happen. I think he likes the Sasquatch too much, unless you guys are all willing to move that way.
We'll go to Sasquatch.
Oh, okay.
I'll be two different regional champs. I'll be the first person to win a regional championship in a different name.
I don't think you would be the first one. I actually think we have another one. I have to go out and look at our ribbon things, but I think we have one that's actually got two different ones out there now. But yeah, I like that. It's funny if we go back and look, and I'll let you. We'll just blab for a second so I can make sure that I'm not lying about this. When I go out and look at the number of designs that we did, or different color schemes that we did for that particular region, I want to say we did 20 some different color variations for the Sasquatch before we actually settled on that one. Let me look here. I have 3 additional folders underneath the Sasquatch, and it says no, yes, maybe. These were all color schemes that I had done with it. And we had 3 that were possible yeses. We had 4 that were no's, or maybes, I'm sorry. And then we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 that end up being no. So 17, 4, and I think another 4. 25 different logos that we had before we decided or settled on those colors, which I do like a lot. And you're right, it is one of the better logos that we have. So
I just want to know why the Norsemen don't play with the Sasquatch. I feel like that just fits.
It would. We're going to get somebody there in the Sasquatch that will make you have that same feeling as I dug through 26 pages of logos today to try to see if we couldn't find something good for Paul. I'm hoping that what we end up coming up with for him is going to be good for him, and he likes it a lot.
I was thinking about just changing my logo to just a beard. Just that's it. Just call it a bearded wonder.
We'll have to look into that. Hey, make sure before July 28th or 29th we get all the logos that we can, so we don't make the same mistake we did the last 2 months actually. All right, so the last thing that we wanted to hit on the show for the night, after of the 3 topics that we talked about at the beginning, was we talked about the regions. Now we talked about the regional, the redraft being filled, and we want to talk about where are we at right now schedule wise for the draft selection shows and the drafts, right? So I wanted to bring this up for everybody to be able to look at. So this was the TBD list of draft selection shows and the actual drafts. Draft selection show being the week prior to give everybody what draft position they're going to be drafting from. That way they get a week to prep and be able to do some mock drafts and stuff like that from that position then the next week that they will draft from. Here is my intent. Here's my hope. We've talked to the regions, right? We've got the Discord chat. We've told them, hey, come up inside your regional channel and let us know what works better for you, 28 August or 29 August, at least for a day. And then a couple people have taken it even further and said, hey, this time works even better for me. I would like to stay consistent for those 2 weekends. And whatever time we get for you for the draft, which is probably more important for people, we do the draft selection show that same time slot the weekend before. So if you're watching this now, the 4 of you that are left that have stayed with us for the last 49 minutes, and we'll reach out to you again in Discord. If you have a preference, 28 or 29, which is Saturday, Sunday, and a particular time that you would like to draft from, and remember, all of these are East Coast time, let us know. And then Kevin and I are going to take that all into consideration, and we're going to see if we can't slot everybody and make it best for the masses. I think right now you have said that the Black Bears region is looking to draft on the 28th.
Yes.
Okay.
And preferably, if we're taking a time, if you're matching it with the previous weekend's selection show, I would say morning, because the auction draft is slated to kick off at 2.
Okay. So we'll see what we can do about that and moving it around. And what we're trying to avoid for the Black Bears region, for the almighty bearded one, is to make sure that you're not drafting while you're under the gun getting a tattoo again this year, right?
That is correct, but I'm only one of 12, right? So if that doesn't happen to work out, I will draft while being tattooed again. We had a plan in place last year. It didn't fare so poorly, or it worked out, I guess you should say. Outside of CMC getting hurt 101, and couldn't really do anything about that. But I don't mind either way. It's just not my preference.
So since we're talking about that, we're going to talk about the draft selection show and what that looks like. Most of the veterans have seen this. The rookies can go back and watch it on any of the broadcasts that we've had prior for those. I think you wanted to show a spot on the website of where people could show, maybe where the general managers are from, how many years they've played in the league, and so and so. I will be working on creating those as well for each one of the teams, because that's what we use to cut out and pull out of the hat when we're doing the draft selections, and we're rolling the dice on the screen that everybody loves to watch me get snake eyes for some reason. So if we're in here and we click on, you can use mine or we can use yours, however you want to do it. Doesn't matter. When you come in here and you click on a team, we'll show you what this looks like. You're going to end up getting this banner that comes up. And it's going to show you the general manager. It's going to show a picture of the general manager. And it's going to show you where they're from or where they're living at the moment and how long they've been a member. And what we do is we print those off, and those get cut out, and they will go in for the selections of the things that come out of the hat as we're doing the draft selection show. So for the rookies that don't know what this is all about, you will get this on your team page as well. It's coming shortly. Once we get the logos actually built, I will work on that. So what'd you end up clicking on that?
I wanted to see something here. So last year you went 1-1 against the Unicorn Legends.
Mm-hmm.
So what I just did, if you take a look, and I'm going to actually do this. I just need to see something real quick here, just for the record.
I have a funny feeling I know where you're going with this.
If you are on the owner's page and you want to see how they fare, you can hit series records, and this shows how their history is against other teams that they have played. And if you take a look, I'm not sure if you notice this. And why is this not?
What it's doing? I'm wondering why it's grabbing old slots from people from the previous year, probably because they were replaced instead of being deleted and then added back in, which is a fault of mine. So we'll have to figure out what that looks like.
Yeah, that's incorrect.
Because
I tried to show the fact that I beat Damien, but you ruined my moment.
The Brevard Rockets and the Alberta Goats are both new teams. Probably needed to delete them instead of just replace them, which I thought this year I did delete everybody like I was supposed to. This could be an MFL flaw, as we have seen that there are a couple of those, especially when it comes to the database rollovers and stuff, because you played more than just these 5 or 6 teams that are here now. 1, 2,
Well,
3, 4, 5, and then 3 other teams. That's 8. We had how many in each one of the regions last year?
I would
12,
have
right?
played 12. I would have played 12 different teams because I did make a bowl
Exactly.
game.
There you go.
Um,
So this doesn't show in the series record
yeah.
correctly. But because we mentioned the ribbons just a little bit ago, go back to, well, let's see, let's not go to yours. Let's use the Chris Betts.
No,
Since we talked.
So what you want to do is not listen to Brian. What you want to do is you want to go to reports, records, and then league awards.
There you go. That's a way to do it. Thanks, man. So you
It's
get to be able to see
way.
the League Awards from 2020, 2019. Pretty sure 2018 are on there as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 2018 is on there. So what we're going to do is, when we have free time, because we know we all have a lot of that, and we build this thing back all the way to 1995, our first successful season, and we will have all of the seasons here. So you will be able to see your all-time series records. We'll make sure that they're correct. You'll be able to see these league awards for all of those teams as well. So it's a great place to go out and look at these and what they look like. All the ribbons that are there. We used to have a page where you could click on and see what they are and what they meant. We took that down as we're making transitions to different looking ribbons, and we changed from the bowls and the Alliance Invitational tournaments and all of those things that are out there. Scroll down to 2018. I'm going to see something there. The Alliance Invitational tournament that year, the Bandits. That's the guy I went to dinner with last night. So I knew he had been in here and had played with us most recent. So, yeah. So, and you can see the notes that are out there on the side. And if we can make it happen, we're still working with V Trophy to see if we can't get virtual trophies put in here as well. Yeah, that's a great logo. That's when we did things a little bit different. We didn't do the full banners. That's what your banners look like in each one of your teams that year. Jersey Badass is being with us. She just has not been back with us for 2 years. Could not get her to come back this year either. So, today was a good day. Southwest Scorpions regional champion there in 2018. Go down and click on that one. That is the guy that is now Brady sits down to number 1.
He should have kept his name.
Today was a good day. I'm pretty sure the year previous to that, his team name was That's What She Said. Let's see. Well, Kevin, what else do you want to talk about before we get out of here at 57 minutes and 18 seconds? What about Black Jesus and Cleats? Never forget that one. D-Bass. Love that one.
That is about it for myself. Make sure that you guys stay tuned in, and what I mean is go get on the Discord channel if you're not there already. Stay tuned into all the information that we're putting out as far as draft dates for all of our leagues, as far as Arm and Leg League, moving forward with that, the Auction League, DOD, Redraft, all of the dynasties moving forward. All the information for every one of those is on Discord. Maria asks, how can I win this year?
Draft better.
Don't suck.
Don't suck. Don't lose. Win every week. That's how you win this year. Win every week.
If you ain't first, you're last. Remember that.
Yeah. So will you guys be on next week?
If you allow us.
Yeah, I can't say no to you guys.
No, thanks. We'll be on.
Yeah. Well, as long as we get some logos done, we get the draft times for the draft selection shows and the drafts all figured out this weekend. We'll be live next week as well, so we can put that out to everybody. I'll see if I can't do a cool graphic to bring that up, and we'll put that out to the world. And then hopefully we'll have a couple more logos done. Probably do a little bit of a parade of teams for the new logos that are coming out, because a lot of them are rookies right now. So it'd be nice to show them off, get some banners done for everything as well. So What else you got? We got 1 minute left, and I want to thank all of our sponsors.
That's it. Go ahead. Take us away.
All right. Thank you to Football Darts, Nature Coast Tailgating, QB54, Shell and Mel's Boutique, Cranky Veteran Cano Company, Southern Siren Sugar Scrub, Finger Lakes Mercantile, Redwood Durable, and of course, Recast, who are the official music of FSA. You hear them every show at the beginning whenever we play our intro. Thank you for watching the Fanatic Hero broadcast, sponsored by Football Darts and Fantasy Sports Alliance. If you like tonight's show, please go out, like, share, and subscribe on all of our social media outlets. And remember, we are fanatically real. Kevin, you have an awesome night, Bearded Wonder.
Thank you.
Talk to you later.